What is up, guys? It is your boy, GymRatCrypto, Crypto in the Morning, guys. Every single day, 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going Hollywood, which means we're just transferring YouTube channels. We're going to a different YouTube channel. Couple clicks over, guys. Crypto in the Morning YouTube channel. When it gets to 1,000 subs, we're moving everyone over there so it can just be more isolated and my ADD can exist elsewhere. Okay, so guys, that's what we're doing with the show. We got HEXiCAT down below. We got Sam Stolt down below. They actually gave each other a man handshake in person. I tell you guys, they're like, GRC says it matters when you meet a person, what they're like. And I'm like, you're so fucking stupid. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Whoops. Oh, what a horrible thing to say. But in general, when you meet someone and look in their eye and know their intentions right when you see them, that's very important. And I love that. And that's why I met all the Power City guys. I've met the Liquid Loans guys. I've met the Mintra guys. You catch a feel for these guys. I'm on feet. They call that lurking. Okay. So yeah, we got HEXiCAT Liquid Loans. Let me say it a couple of times. Liquid Loans. Let me say it one more time. Liquid Loans is what we're covering here today. That doesn't mean empty your bank account the first time it's available on Uniswap. That means pay attention. That's all we're saying, guys. This is an educational channel. We have HEXiCAT. The testnet is out. We want to talk about it and look at it, and I want to play with it. You know, I want to get excited about this stuff again. I want to put some pressure on other guys too. When these projects come out with their stuff and push, it gives marketing pressure to the other companies to make moves, which is good kinetic energy, in my opinion, for what the goals that I want to achieve in this community. Everyone in the chat, I'm just going to say hi really quick so I can do it once, and I probably won't be able to do it anymore. BC in the Matrix, early and ready. Great. BC in the Matrix, locked in. Jaden, yes, sir. HEXiCAT sounds spicy. Warden you with the bicep. RH Max, good to see you, bro. 6'5" and could beat your face, right? And do your math homework at the same time. Melv Tony, good morning, fellow Hexicans. Good to see you. What's the Mel Tony? Can we get a price check? Ooh, 0.0342, but we'll move on. Sean Ramirez, great to see you. Squirrel, what up, Squirrel? Hey, everybody. Now I can't read. Okay, now we're going to switch over, guys. Crypto in the Morning, every single day. Let's go to some DeFi proof, official wrapper of the channel. We're talking liquid loans, guys. The testnet, PulseChain. If you don't know what these things are, please, please, please ask some questions in the chat. That would be a really smart thing to do. Okay. And then we can fill you in. Don't just go, oh, you know, it's all above my head. It's not. Different words, different concepts, really smart guys that are trying to change the world. Uber bullish, in my opinion. Okay. So guys, let's go into it.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a stake. Got me some hedge and I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. GymRat sent me to show you the way. Crypto in the morning. 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 Crypto in the morning.
Good morning. What's up? I got a fresh shave today.
Yeah, you do. You look like you're ready to beat someone's ass.
I just got that all done, all shaved, nice and smooth. But what I find super interesting is that Liquid Loans has their testnet out finally. But yeah,
what does that mean to you, Sam? Do you like to see work like that? Because it makes you feel like, okay, we're getting some things done. There's guys moving.
Yes, and I actually sacrificed for Liquid Loans. I talked to Matt back in the day. It's something that I'm bullish on, especially with all the community support and with the awareness and marketing around them.
Support.
Right? There's a lot.
There was a lot of support, and then everyone that gave them their money decided to slander them right after, like the people that actually gave them their own money. That's the kind of resourcefulness we use in this community. We give people our money, and then we talk shit about them. Instead of just saying, that was my bad, why don't we support this? If I didn't like it, it's my bad. If it works out, it's my good. I'll end up being a billionaire because these guys are going hard. And what am I going to do, talk shit about them while I don't know what's going on? I think that's sick, Sam. I really do.
Correct. And if you haven't looked at like the dApp, their testnet, whew, it looks good. But gotta say this: if you have looked at Matt's videos, if you've looked at the literature or like a white paper and their website, if they came out with a testnet and it didn't look good, I would be like, "What are you guys doing?" Because all of their shit looks good, right? You look at any of their stuff on their website, very well curated, and all those kinds of things. So today we're gonna have a good show for you guys. We're going to get into
let's bring him on, guys. And one thing before we start, this is brand new. And I don't care what standard everyone wants my life to be on. There's like 3 dudes that have played with this shit in their life. So remember, this is all new stuff. Pay attention here. We're going to work through some stuff. We're going to show you a little bit of testnet, but the whole point, most of you guys don't even know what's going on. So really playing with the testnet is a great way to learn what's going on. So we're going to drop these links below all the time. We're going to tell you to do these things and be smart in your brain. Practice makes perfect in everything you do, especially when no one else knows the shit. Be the top 10 dude who knows the testnet. You will be wildly rich. You know what I mean? And there's like 100 dudes playing that game. So there's a lot of importance here that I want to say. Yes, I could just sit here and work through the testnet and play a cool song and go like, no. But you need to understand what liquid loans is. Sam's a very serious man. HEXiCAT's a very serious man. This is an asset. I mean, this is a financial structure restructuring to a new system. And we're starting to put the pieces together. So let's bring him on. And I also want to make this an awesome conversation, though, because I don't want to get too out of the nuance, and I want to introduce everyone to HEXiCAT. Let's get into it. I don't want to press the buttons.
There he is. Good morning, sir. Hey, it's good to see you. Good morning. Good to see you guys. It's good to see you again. For everybody who is watching, HEXiCAT and I actually just met up in the physical just a couple days ago. Good to meet people from the community. Great seeing you again. How you doing this morning?
I'm good, man. I'm feeling a little run down. I think the air conditioning in here is giving me a little bit of a sore throat, but
no, dude, everyone's wrecked right now with the same exact thing, bro. I'm so wrecked. My throat's so wrecked. My girl, everyone, my family, everyone around here has got some little bug that's rolling through. I'm not taking a jab for. Ooh, we're not talking about that. We're never going to say anything of that nature because that is not sensitive.
Let's get into, because this is the first time you've been on. We've seen you in the community 1,000 times, so thank you for being part of the community and always helping. For me, this is from Sam. Like, I appreciate the help with answering the questions, whether it's around liquid loans or other insights, just because you have different points of view or have different information. You want to give people a little bit of like synopsis or your story on how you got into everything? Like, how did you get into the crypto and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, man. It was like 2017, and my one buddy was posting on Facebook all the time, like charts from Coinbase. So, and I'd heard about Bitcoin. I didn't really know anything about it. And basically saw him posting Ethereum and Litecoin. So I downloaded Coinbase, and Bitcoin was too expensive for me to buy at $3,000. So I could kick myself now, but I went in and I bought a bunch of
what year was that? Was that 2019?
2017.
So that was before it did the COVID dip. So this was long before that, because it hit 3,400 again at the COVID dip in 2019.
Yeah, it did go under 4,000.
That's when I bought.
Yeah, well, that was I
The
wish I
first
put
time
money
ever.
into
Like,
that.
that was the first time I entered cryptocurrency forever.
Yeah, there was a big dip after COVID. Absolutely.
Some guys were
but-
like, "Dude, you got any money, bro?
Mhm.
Buy that." But
So,
go ahead,
yeah,
please.
I just bought.
I want to hear more. This is interesting.
Yeah, so I just bought Litecoin, and because it was the silver Bitcoin, and it was only 30. I think it was like $30 or $32 at the time, and I think I got into Ethereum around like 140, somewhere around there. So I just started putting money into that and seeing what happened, and I just held, dude. I hodled the whole time. Next year, bear market, like everything crushed. All my legacy finance friends were like, "It's dead. The SEC is going to regulate it. Crypto's not coming back." They don't really understand crypto. I didn't even understand crypto as much as I do now, and you're still learning every single day. Honestly, it's crypto is not easy.
The longer in crypto, the longer you learn. No one knows one thing about crypto except like 17 dudes.
There's like Richard. So there's always
literally like a good host of like 50 to 100 guys that are serious in the industry.
Absolutely. So I just held, dude. I'm like, I'm not going to dump and like take an 80% dump. Like now, what's the point? Like I might as well just see what happens in a few years. So 2020 came around, and then all of a sudden in the fall, it just started booming again. And not one time did they push a Richard Heart video to me. No funny guy in a top hat. Never saw him. January 2021, I think I saw like someone tweeted. I don't know if it was like, it was on a Anthony Pompliano post. I don't even know what it was about. And I think it could have been Nerd Girl or Annette. Somebody posted Richard Heart would disagree. And I'm like, who the fuck is Richard Heart? Oh, sorry for swearing.
No, you can swear. It's just me talking about super political weird things.
Yeah. So like all of a sudden it just took me down the rabbit hole, started Googling him, came up with Hex. I was like, scam. All the YouTube videos that I saw first were all about scams, every single one of them. And then I came across this guy, Crypto Coffee and Hodl Dog. So I started watching some of their videos, and I'm like, they made like pretty clear and like, easy points. Like they sounded logical. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. Like, I'm just going to put like $5,000.
I was saying, I thought the same way when I watched them.
Yeah. They kind of kept me
straightforward. Those guys were awesome. Seemed like you'd want to get a beer with them too, to be honest.
Yeah. So I put like $5,000 in to start. Yeah, absolutely. It looked cool. For a 90-day stake, just to test it out. I'm like, I didn't tell my friends. I didn't tell my family. I'm like, if this is a rug pull, I don't want to be embarrassed about it. So at the end of 90 days, I think it doubled. But within the first 3 weeks, everybody was talking about these T-shares, which I still had no complete understanding of. How important it was to put in like a 5 stake and like lock them in a 10-year. So the first thing I did was go put some money into 3 weeks later, I put in a 15-year and I put in a 10-year. And that was basically the start. And then after that, Bitcoin started pumping and Ethereum. I switched all my Litecoin to Bitcoin and Ethereum, rode the high. And then I sold some of that like when Hex started pumping, and I was just buying Hex and like building a staking ladder.
You got a lot of power to go through all that. I guess that would have made sense at the time. Those were the moves to make at the time, probably.
Like, I was constantly trying to. I didn't mean to interrupt you. Constantly trying to catch up with T-shares because all these guys had like over 1,000 T-shares. I'm like, how do I get there?
Well, no, let's not go down that road.
Yeah, right.
You don't want to go down that road with me. I want people to subscribe, not unsubscribe. To
yeah. It's true.
But seriously, so you found your way to Hex probably because you were thinking and you saw some returns and you saw some good liquidity and you saw some good gains. That's all it is, right? Absolutely. You can look at everything you want. If you see a little bit of liquidity and growth every single day, Sam, what's the best number to have in a cryptocurrency? Number of users goes up per day. Don't care what the units are. But then people like Pulse Doge guys will tell you, and I'm not saying because it's crap and say there's only 600 of these. So everyone should have. It's so easy to get one. And you're like, dude, you have 400 of them.
Yeah.
And then, what the hell are you doing? Like, there's a reason unit bias stays low anyway. But so you got involved in Hex clearly. Mm-hmm. How did you transition from, okay, I'm a user. I'm just a user. Now we're talking about sacrifice phases for coins in the future that you got involved. Clearly, you didn't know about this before it started. Yeah. You know what I mean? None of us did. So when did you start hearing about PulseChain? When you start hearing about like, okay, let's buy into the future here maybe a little bit with some of my money. And then how did that kind of look? Because I did that journey too. I think we all did.
So it was all like the Hex dive and like hearing about Richard and starting to watch his videos. And then I think, when did he announce PulseChain? I think it was like February, of 2021. And he started talking, he's going to fork Ethereum. And then they have the sacrifice. I'm like, what the hell is a sacrifice? So
Oh, 2020 early. Whoa, way earlier. Like,
20 it was
yeah, you
2020.
were talking about this stuff before I got involved ever. That was 500 days ago. And I remember hearing it from way back before then. So yeah, he was talking about it for a while. The second the ETH gas fees got too high, for the first time, he said, I'm wrecked. He's like, just like Sam would have done, because he's actually smart and he actually pays attention to the charts that Sam looks at. Richard probably looks at too, but Sam publishes them. So he, like he's making a point. Like the gas efficiency within Ethereum, any smart man would say wouldn't scale, but there's still people in the chat and all over Twitter that want to say in some world it'll work out somehow that everyone will use Ethereum and it'll scale for your stakes. You fucking are dumb. So, oh, fuck. I keep saying shit like a locker room talk.
Okay, so if you
do that,
the time frame, right, around whenever it was launched, PulseChain, you're like, what is a sacrifice? Oh, this sounds like a donation or whatever the case is. But you had enough confidence in it because of the history of watching you hit Richard Heart. You've bought HEX and you're like, oh shit, it's doubled. And then you're watching your stakes and you're like, oh wow, this is continuing to go up. This is continuing to go up. I haven't lost all my money yet. Right. So you're like confident in enough to actually participate. Because I think you mentioned you participated, at least with me privately. I don't know if you had said it here yet. And that's been left off in the sacrifice.
Yeah. I participated in all the sacrifices. So I missed HEX in the beginning, but like I said, I got in January 2021. He may have been talking about forking his own network, but I don't think he officially announced it till like February or March. And that's when I was like looking into all this stuff and like, what is a sacrifice? How are you going to do this? What is it? And it just sounded awesome. It like a ground floor opportunity to get into a brand new blockchain, like starting with the, that collateral, the main asset, like starting at zero. Everything sounded awesome. And getting in early is one of the biggest things you can do. So
in any asset, right?
Absolutely anything, stocks, bonds, whatever. So
and that's important to remember. There's lots of names, guys. And you guys all understand this. We all know this. But like, in general, for the newer guys in here, because whenever I talk, I'm trying to like reiterate to some of the guys that were more in the position that I was in when I was listening to these conversations with these smart guys, kind of like, I don't know what they're talking about. But damn it, I forgot my point.
Getting in early.
I want you to understand, guys, it doesn't matter what the logo looks like. I mean, it does, like for everything, but like to you right now when you're buying, it doesn't matter what the logo looks like or what the name is. It matters that there's no liquidity. It doesn't matter what the unit bias is, really. That's just a trick to get people to do shit. But really, it's about the liquidity. What is the liquidity? How thick is that, right? Sam, it doesn't really matter the unit of accounting, right? It just matters the amount of dollar in the effing pool. And then Richard teaches me this word for word over the years. And then you learn stuff like this. And then we want to add on, right? We want to build all these things. And then we get slandered along with help from like 50% of, I don't get slandered, but I see other people. I don't really care, but other people do care. So I just see it, right? Like, why can't we all be beneficial? That's why I'm just I think Liquid Loans is awesome. I can't wait to learn more. And let's move on with the conversation so I can stop talking.
Yeah, man. That's it. I mean, he went on to PulseChain, and then it was just like the whole amp up phase. Like everybody was excited. Like all the Telegram groups were blowing up. Like PulseChain group was just growing. Started going in there and listening to people like, Jesse and Walrus and all the admins like talk and like learn. So it was basically doing that for months, just listening to that shit all the time and like falling asleep to it sometimes with my phone next to me on the bed. So yeah, and that was basically it. Just trying to like absorb through osmosis while I was sleeping probably. Then we had the sacrifice phase and went through the summer. I kind of like started pulling back out of the PulseChain group because it was just getting kind of a lot of noise in there for a little bit. And then how I got
I've never entered the group, so I wouldn't know about it.
Yeah. And then so how I got involved with Liquid Loans, like in September, there was like my buddy told me about, have you heard about this new project? And like, he showed me this Telegram group he invited me to. I think there was like 100 people in there when I got there. And it was just called New Project at the time. Didn't even say Liquid Loans, and just went in there, started listening and learning, hearing some of the pitches. And I'm like, that sounds interesting. Like first I heard about loans and I'm like, there's like a stigma to loans. Like I don't want more debt. Like loans signify that you're needy and you need help. But then when you learn about the protocol and you learn that the wealthiest people in the world borrow and use that money, that leverage to like buy more and then make themselves wealthier. And you would realize that this protocol is no admin keys, no counterparty risk, 0% interest, and you don't have to make any monthly payments. That's where it gets powerful. So that
So
got
you're
me
like
all
the
pumped
10
up.
rich dudes that already know everything will learn that about your product, and then the same people will buy all the good stuff always.
You hope so, dude. I always was like
That's
going out
that's
to
how it
Robert
works. Guys like
Kiyosaki
Sam
trying to
won't
get him to
sleep
fucking
until
look at
they
it.
know exactly what's going on with these products.
Yeah. No, but it's awesome. And I just started learning and then just started writing in the Telegram, dude. I was just an ordinary person going in. I learned, and like people would ask a question, nobody was answering right away. So I just started answering questions with like all the other admins in there who are awesome, by the way. Bulls, Owen, like all these guys, like they're great. Nas, he's in there all the time. Just answering questions, and you know, they made me an admin, and I was like, this is awesome. So now I can just be part of something. Watch it grow. It feels to be good to be part of a project in a way, you know, even if it's just like helping other people out. And I like doing that. You know, that's how you really feel rewarded in life, is helping other people, solving problems and helping other people. So,
but you find out that the people you need to follow are only the people that figure that out, because there's this tricky thing that goes on in life where grown men don't figure those things out, and they play 12-year-old games their entire life.
Yeah, I'm
entire life.
So
that's why I say, guys, pay attention to these guys have a bigger purpose. It's not impossible to figure out either. And it's not all about money. Yes, we all want a dope amount of money so we can flex on all these haters. But that's not the point. The point is, guys like us could do so bad for this world. If Sam put his mind and his power, and HEXiCAT's mind and power, to making this world a worse place, I promise you that would not be a fun proposition. So that's why guys like him are like, well, I don't want to go to prison for the rest of my life either. Let's all team up and win together. But I'm not going to hold back at the same time. Right? And that's what we're all doing here. We're trying to be our best. I'll take the collateral damage, the social fucking whatever that people want to say is a problem. Like, people are going to bitch at me on Twitter. You think that's a problem? You think if Richard Heart unfollowed me on Twitter, that would be a problem? You're retarded. Ooh.
So
no, but seriously, that's not important shit in real life. Like, literally, you guys need to wake up a little bit. These are financial assets. We got to get serious.
Like the details of like who's following you on Twitter, or like somebody says some shit about you, literally doesn't matter. You got to move on and grow the fuck up. But if that's the first time you're hearing that shit and you're like, oh shit, I give a shit what people think, well then great, start to wake up. But let's get back into HEXiCAT's story here. So then you go through this process and this journey, and now you're involved with liquid loans here, right? Can you talk about kind of what liquid loans is? Because I'm sure somebody's going to watch this, whether it's today or over the next 6 months, and like they don't know what liquid loans is, right? There's new people coming into crypto all the time. We might know what it is, but a lot of people have no effing idea what liquid loans is. So just start at the very basic level, like what is liquid loans and how it works, and just kind of walk through the process so that we can lay the framework to get into the testnet.
Yeah, man. It's just it's basically at its core, it's just like a true DeFi protocol. There's no admin keys, there's no counterparty risk, none of that stuff. Like everything that goes into the system, everybody that uses it, everything stays within. So none of the founders get any money once it's live. Only people that use the protocol and take loans, and then people that take loans, the borrowing fees go to the other people that stake. So there's 3 coins. There's Pulse's collateral. There's loan token, which is the native token in the protocol. And then there's USDL, which will be the stable coin. So if you want to take a loan, that's one portion of the protocol. You basically take your Pulse, you put it in the vault, you collateralize it, and then you mint USDL. It's a 0% interest loan. You don't have to pay it back in monthly payments at all. Theoretically, you never have to pay it back, because if you hypothetically are liquidated, you got the money on the front end and you don't owe anything back. When you open a vault, there's a one-time $200 reserve fee. It's basically like a deposit. So it's just holding your money. If you ever pay back your loan, your balance is reduced by $200. It also serves as incentive for people in the staking pool. So the staking pool, you can take the loan token, you put it in the staking pool, and then you earn yield in USDL and Pulse from arbitrage opportunities. That you don't have to worry about doing that. It just happens on the back end. It automatically goes into your wallet in the dApp. So yeah, I mean,
so real quick, just so I can explain to everyone what's going on. Do we want to play the liquid loans explainer video real quick, Bullish? And just let none of us, we're all just here. This is a 3 or 4 minute video to keep the people in the crowd and the context pretty calm, and a little explainer video just for everyone. Because guys, I can't reiterate enough. There's less guys like Sam out there and more guys that have no idea what any of this stuff is. So every once in a while, I like to break it up because I do want people to remember this is simple stuff, but you have to learn it at some point. So let's play this video, Liquid Loans.
Liquid Loans is the first truly decentralized lending protocol built specifically and exclusively for PulseChain. Its operations are immutable, non-custodial, and governance-free. It's a finished product with no admin keys. The Liquid Loans protocol was developed to allow owners of Pulse a method of extracting value from their holdings without the need to ever sell. By locking up Pulse and minting USDL, a Pulse holder can take a 0% interest-free loan against their holdings on a timeless repayment schedule. The Liquid Loans protocol has two native tokens, USDL and Loan. USDL is an algorithmic stablecoin that aims to always be worth $1. Many stablecoins today are fiat-backed, but USDL is different. It doesn't rely on dollars in a bank account. Instead, USDL is minted when users deposit Pulse as collateral that has been locked into individual smart contracts called vaults. Loan is the secondary token issued by the protocol. It captures the fee revenue that is generated by the system and incentivizes early adopters. You earn Loan by providing USDL to the stability pool in exchange for rewards. You can stake your loan tokens to earn the revenue paid for borrowing or redeeming USDL. So, how can you benefit from using the protocol? Well, there are four main journeys you can take. 1. Borrow. As a borrower, you can take a loan against your existing Pulse. To do this, you deposit your Pulse into a contract called a vault, which in turn mints the USDL stablecoin. The minimum collateral ratio you can lock up is 110%. However, a ratio of 150% or more is strongly recommended. There is a one-off borrowing fee of between 0.5% and 5% depending on demand for loans. Use your USDL for a variety of personal uses or reinvest into the system to provide stability and take advantage of another journey on the ecosystem. 2. Earn. As a holder of USDL, you can earn income by providing stability to the Liquid Loans ecosystem. Invest and achieve a return on your USDL using gains earned through liquidation events plus incentives earned in the form of loan tokens. Liquidations redistribute the liquidated Pulse to existing stability holders in proportion to the amount of USDL they have in the stability pool. Possible returns as a stability provider are known to be between 10% and 30% APR. 3. Stake. As a holder of Loan, your loan tokens can be staked for rewards. Staking is a common way for users and holders of native tokens to earn interest on their holdings. Holders of loan tokens can stake their tokens in the ecosystem and achieve returns known to be in excess of 20% APR. Earnings are generated from borrowings and redemption fees and are provided in the same proportion as the amount you have staked in the staking pool. 4. Redeem. To redeem Pulse, you simply provide the appropriate amount of USDL. The protocol allows you to exchange one USDL stablecoin for $1 worth of Pulse. Redeeming is a huge benefit to the system, as it allows the Pulse holder to extract value and helps keep the USDL value pegged in the overall market. Liquid Loans' core purpose is to support the creation, growth, and adoption of a more secure, trustless, and decentralized financial infrastructure that is community-owned and brings greater stability and transparency to the PulseChain ecosystem. Join the movement and see what's possible for you. liquidloans.io.
So that video, whoever put that together did an awesome job there, nicely tying everything together, all of those individual pieces. I want to get into the testnet, but I'd like to ask you one personal question first related to Liquid Loans. So you've got multiple different ways to play it, right? There's 4 kind of ways you can look at it, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to think about arbitraging as one of them, right? But the 3 is what I'm really thinking about. Which one are you most excited about, or how you think are ways that you might play it? You know what I mean? You could contribute your Pulse, right? And use your USDL to go do other stuff. You could just buy USDL in the market and contribute to the stability pool. and then you can get your loan token to put into staking there. I'm curious to.
Incredible video. Beautiful. Amazing, by the way.
Yes. Shout out to Scottish Dave and CC
Oh my
like
God,
putting
who
that
is
together.
guy? Give him me. I want your number and I want it now.
Scottish Dave is a master marketer, and he knows how to like
God.
get the right people and the right dev teams and the right content creators to like go in and the designers to actually do it.
Except he didn't reach out to GRC, so how smart is he? I mean, I'm kidding. Obviously, I'm a player.
Yeah, they did it.
But
That video was awesome.
But I was just joking. No, it's been an incredible experience. Watch the marketing on that. It's been really. But please, those plays that Sam said, that's right. Probably what I want to learn about as well.
Yeah, man. All of them.
Next
topic. Everything. Get a little of everything. Yeah.
My strategy, when we were putting like little blurbs together, like to do what you would do, I kind of came up with my strategy, and it was just basically to be like water, like that whole Bruce Lee thing. Be like water, be fluid, be able to adapt, be liquid. So like the thing is, the market's going to change. We don't know exactly what it's going to do. So like if you want to do like a strategy like Haunted's where you're just going and investing all the time, what happens if the market goes down? Then you're not being able to be able to take loans like all the time. So you might want to go a little more conservative and take that money and put it in the staking pool, in the stability pool. But I love the pools. Like the best part about the pools is that they work 24/7 as like 24/7 money printers for you. So you take your USDL, you throw it in there, and it's earning you yield in Pulse and loan token. The staking pool, you put your loan token in there, it's earning you USDL, and you can use that USDL to pay down your loans when you take them too. And the best part about the loan portion is that you can never have to sell your Pulse at all. You just hold it. As the Pulse goes up in value, you can buy more Pulse if you want, or you can go pay off your car, buy a house, buy groceries, whatever you need to do. And
now, at any point, does the amount of USD value that Pulse can accrue just because of price appreciation make this hard to extrapolate to a degree, or is that why you put all these systems in place, because you pay attention to all this stuff? You know what I mean? Like these things do 100x's with real liquidity. And I'm just asking, this is more of a question for me. Like Sam and conjecture on this would be great. Like I've never seen something like this happen. So I'm curious. And in crypto, if you're imaginative, just know in crypto, you have to see the future. That's how you make money in crypto. So like you said earlier, so please.
So one USDL will always be redeemable for $1 worth of Pulse. So I'm not sure if that's what you're asking, but yeah, you can always take one USDL and you can get $1 worth of Pulse at it. It doesn't matter what the price of Pulse is, you'll get $1 worth.
I guess that is what I'm asking.
But if you think about like, so say what if Pulse does 100x, right? What if Pulse does 100x in the first 365 days? Well, if somebody does have the capacity or does have the knowledge of LL's like system and how the system works, well then if I have say $10,000 of Pulse and then you add another zero, there's 100,000 and then it goes to $1 million, right? So if I have $10,000 and I put that in and I had borrowed 10% of that, right? Because I don't personally think it's a good idea to borrow more than that if you're using these types of things. So I borrowed $1,000. Now what GRC was saying, so now that goes from 10 to 100,000 to $1 million, but I have a $1,000 loan on $1 million of collateral. So it doesn't seem super like efficient use of capital there, right? Or just a very, 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 very conservative risk averse position. So what you'll probably see happen is people withdrawing Pulse to sell shit, or more than likely, because they're already participating in the system, they'll take that $1,000 position on $1 million of collateral in Pulse, and they'll go to 10,000 or 100,000, right? Still keep it below 10%, but more than likely they'll just pull more money out of the system to either add to the stability pool or participate in the system in some other fashion, because your collateral has gone up, right? My house is 3x'd in the past 5 years. What did I do? I just refinanced so I could pull more money out. So I see that as the underlying, like the house value, the Pulse jumps up in value. What are a decent number of people going to do? They're going to refinance and bring that from $1,000 loan on $10,000, right, to $100,000 loan on $1 million, or something on those along those lines. So, thank you, HEXiCAT, for talking about that. Let's pull up the Bullish. You want to pull up the Testnet? Let's dive into the Testnet. This is cool, very detailed, and looks way better than Liquidities, or however you say their name. Cool. Okay, so this is the testnet. HEXiCAT, you want to walk us through like this just from start to finish kind of thing?
Yeah, man. Like, so literally I got this yesterday too.
Yes.
I'm on the marketing team, so like I didn't have pre-access to this, but I've been messing around with it. So you can go in. Basically, you're on the front landing page here, so you have that 4-minute video how it works right there. Borrow USDL, all the stuff on the side. There's an intro video explaining how to use that stuff. Hit start here again, really quick. Yeah, so you have the borrow USDL, the stability pool, staking pool, redemptions, liquidations. That just explainer videos for everything on the top left there. So if you want to borrow USDL, you just click on borrow USDL and you connect your wallet. So we're connected. So you can actually put in 25% of your bag, 50, 75, 100, or you can put in a custom amount that you want to borrow.
Says you need to put in at least 2,000 USDL. Total debt might be at least 2,000.
Correct. So the total debt in the protocol at all times must be 2,000 USDL. That is the minimum to start and open up a vault. Now, if you want to take smaller loans after that, as long as you're above that $2,000 threshold, you can take like a $100 loan or a $500 loan.
Do you know what the rationale behind that is? Because there's going to be a lot of people that get into this afterwards where they won't be able to use the protocol because of that reason.
Yeah, so it's based off of Liquidity's protocol because it is a fork, and I haven't heard their direct reasoning, but I think they just want to have it as a protocol that actually maintains that you have $2,000 at all times. That was the number they came up with. I'm not sure if they did analytics on it, or
I would assume that's the number of people. Like, there's probably a large portion of people in crypto that have like $2,000 or less that never do anything, that they don't really want to interact with the protocol, rather people that are making moves that actually have some weight to them. So like maybe that's just like a limit, but I'll look into that actually, because I'm curious about that. Because my users will be curious about that, because in the future I'll have a fuck ton of this shit and I'll be able to take loans on everyone's shit. But you know what I mean? I know that's part of people think about these things. So I'm curious, just in general, it probably is good to have a buffer, and why that buffer is. Anyone in the comments that knows any insight about these things would be nice.
So thank you, because it will be interesting to get. This is the first time I'm learning about that threshold of like the minimum borrowing here. So 1,200 Pulse, right? This doesn't look like it's enough to actually borrow here. And then on the right hand side, we see the transaction status, right? So the total amount of deposited Pulse would be 5,000 in this case. In this system state, where if you look in the top left hand corner, it says TCR and has a battery thing. That TCR number is going to influence the 0.5% borrowing fee. Is that accurate?
Wait, what was the question again? I'm sorry, I was looking at.
No worries. So we got total collateral ratio is shown in the top left corner, and then it says like green above 200 is normal, 200 to 150 is yellow, orange, and then you get into the red area, right? And I thought, if I understood it correctly, it's been a while since I really looked at some of the details, but if the TCR starts to drop down below 200, right, and turns yellow, or even to the 150 to 110 range, that's where you get that sliding scale of the borrowing fee, and the borrowing fee going up. Is that accurate?
So recovery mode starts at 150 or less. So as long as you're over 150, it's not recovery mode. At recovery mode, they will lock the vaults down, and it'll start liquidating the lowest collateralized vaults at that point.
What about the borrowing fee?
Okay, yeah. So the borrowing fees, it's usually between 0.5% and 5% based on the health of the system. Usually when the systems are healthy, it's usually going to be around 0.5%. When it does start to get lower in that other threshold, the borrowing fee could be lower. But there is an incentivization to actually take loans out. And as long as you're putting a lot more Pulse in, you can actually get a 0% fee when it's in recovery mode. It's actually on
Can you talk about that? Like how that works? Because that'll be fascinating for people to take advantage of that if they want to.
Yeah, it's just like if the system's in recovery mode, it's encouraging the system to actually go in and like take loans out. As long as you're putting in highly collateralized vaults, it'll give you a 0% interest. It's actually in the documentation in the white pages. I think it's on the main link somewhere down. Knowledge base.
Knowledge base, like fourth one up from the bottom on the left-hand side.
Yeah. And then it's somewhere in here. I don't want to waste time looking around for it. But recovery mode maybe.
No worries. A little bit. Don't stress.
Yeah, like recovery mode in the middle there. Above
right
audits.
Above audits, all the way on the left-hand side. Below down a little bit. Right there, up 1, 2. Boom. Somewhere
so
in
it
here.
Should be somewhere in here when it talks about taking loans, I believe.
So the fee goes
there. What are the fees during recovery mode? See right there.
While recovery mode has no impact on the redemption fee, the borrowing fee is set to 0 to maximally encourage borrowing within the limits described above. That's interesting. That's a cool feature.
And that's so because the health of the system is lower. So they want to increase the health of the system. We want to get it back over there. But most of the time, I think recovery mode's only been active like one time. I'd have to go back and check because I haven't followed as much this past few months. But I think it's only been in recovery mode on Liquidity, the parent protocol, one time, I think. So most of the time, it's going to be a lot higher. Right now, it was 200 last night. It's a 250%. If you look in the top left over there, TCR, total collateral ratio. Yeah, right there.
Well, if you could get one of the guys too, whichever one of the guys is the most flexible for time on the team, like when these things come up and the real deal's happening, like I'd like to have them for the show too. Like, because these numbers are all merit to change when the real stuff comes out, right? Like,
oh yeah, this is Testnet, so nothing's real. I just want
everyone to know that some guys get confused. Like the Testnet is a good way for us to kind of move and learn and think. But these are not the real dollars, guys. We're playing right now. This is for learning, and it's safe. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal. Learning and safe in crypto, very hard to find.
Think monopoly money. When real world, it could be people's behavior when they use their own dollars versus like monopoly dollars are not always the same thing.
Before we move on, Sam, what do you feel in bullish? What do you feel about all of this stuff? And I think we're going to do a testnet video, and we can finish that thought if I cut something off. I forgot.
I think I see liquid loans because we don't know how the IRS is going to respond to this if people are like reporting everything. But I see liquid loans as a way to earn yield on my Pulse, right? So you have several different ways to earn yield on Pulse. Like you're like, I'm bullish on Pulse, but it's also cool to not just sit on money. It's cool to have my money working for me. And if you just sit on Pulse, I'm sure that you'll do fantastic, assuming the project actually launches and there's no big issues with it, right? But you could do it with validators, right? You could do it with fiat.io. You could do it with liquid loans.
Do you think the RH ecosystem needs things like this to continue to move forward?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sam.
100%.
Sam,
look at how many people.
Sam didn't say no. Hold on 1 second. No, wait. He's like, yeah, of course.
These are the things I look for. True DeFi protocols with no outside influence. The users dictate what's going to happen. Nobody can go in and admin key and pull you. No Terra Luna can happen here. No Celsius. They're not going to go out and take your money and invest it in other things on the back end. It's all stays within the system. So those are the things that I love. They're beautiful.
Yeah. So and plus, how many times has HEXiCAT talked to brand new people? Like they don't know really about RH, but they might kind of slightly, maybe a tiny bit, but they're like liquid loans. And then HEXiCAT jumps in and builds a relationship with them and gets them involved. Like
Sam, it's like real.
That's business. Growing the adoption. It's growing the adoption of whatever Richard Heart's working on because he's you're working to help build liquid loans, but that in the process of building liquid loans, it builds Pulse, right? It's what a novel concept.
Richard is an entity which is not a man, and this is not the truth. Richard is a man, and everyone else is men, and we're trying to make the future a better place, all of us together, everyone. It's not Richard, it's not anyone, it's not bullish, it's not Sam, it's all of us, but this is super bullish for your USD value in your bank account too. So pay attention if you're a scumbag, because you know what I mean? In every way, not to this, but in general, like this is just important information. We want to give it to you straight, guys. And HEXiCAT, you seem like an amazing guy. So this makes me happier about exactly, Sam, like you just said before this. I appreciate that kind of stuff. And more people a lot of people in crypto have never met anyone in person. And that's a big problem because there's a big real life portion of this. But I'm going to continue. Let's go to this. I'm going to shut up until the end of the show. And guys, I'm doing a market update for what I'm doing today. I've been crypto moving, boy, with them fingers. I'm updating everyone 1 p.m. I made some moves. 1 p.m. I'm updating solo stream.
It's an interesting dialogue. I hope you guys are enjoying the show. So we go into the borrow USDL, right? And we went into there. So now let's just hypothetically, I borrowed a bunch of USDL and I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go into the stability pool. Can you walk us through this? Where did you get because I don't know about anybody else watching this, but the first thing I look at is what I'm going to earn, right? Like that's the first thing. So can you talk about the 11% there, the 10.88?
Yes. Can you switch it to dark mode? So much better.
Couple brewskis last night, HEXiCAT. No, I'm joking. Okay. I get wrecked too.
Everything's dark mode. So you're just gonna the APR. It's based on this is the stability pool.
Yes, sir.
So it's based on the amount, your percentage of the pool, and the amount of liquidations that are going on. If you just want to stake something, you can just pick, the variable numbers there, 25, 50, 75. I would just stake it all because you can always pull it out at any time and you would just want to earn it. Then just hit confirm the transaction.
And then we have to wait 46 seconds because Pulse is slow. Just kidding. It's going to go through. All done. Super fast. Way faster than Ethereum. So now we've staked this out. For people, where is this 10% coming from?
So it's actually coming from the loan rewards. So the loans that are come from the reserve pool that are distributed for partaking. So when you put USDL into the stability pool, you actually releases from a reserve fee every year. It halves like Bitcoin. So the rate that you'll earn after the first year is half of what you'll earn the year before. But there's a reserve pool set up for to encourage people to use the stability pool. So you get a little bit of loan every time that you're putting USDL in there, and you're basically helping prop up the system for anything that's going on with liquidations. So you're going to earn a little bit of that, and you're also going to earn Pulse from liquidations too. When an account's liquidated, you get your whatever percentage you have of the pool, you're going to get Pulse back to you for doing that. And once again, that's passive income. It's not the tax-free portion of the protocol because you're going to have to get capital gains on that. You're going to have to pay taxes on that, but it basically earns while you're sleeping. And like Warren Buffett even said, like, you want things that work while you're sleeping. You could work every single hour of the week and you're just never going to get out of the hole you're digging if you're only making like $10 an hour at McDonald's. So you need things that work for you while you're not working, while you're sleeping, and going out and like find other things and keep building them and building them. So you have more things working for you.
So this is I'm going to just paraphrase and please correct me if I'm not saying it correctly here. The stability pool, right? I borrowed my USDL. I take my USDL, either all of it or a portion of it, and I decided to put it into the stability pool. So I get two things from the stability pool. I get the loan token, right? So we'll talk about that in a second, and just after we get through this. And then I also get the rewards for when people are liquidated. So we talked about the system state a second ago, right? Below 150% is danger, right? And then at 110%, if your vault gets to 110%, that is just liquidated, which means that you borrowed that at 100% basically, but there's a 10% profit there, or 10% margin, we'll call it. That 10% is what goes to these players here, correct?
Correct. So if you want to borrow $10,000, you have to lock up $11,000 worth of Pulse. So you get that $10,000 right up front, and you don't have to pay it back. If you get liquidated, it's yours to keep. You can do whatever you want with it. You just lost that $1,000 value or Pulse from when you took out the loan. And that goes back to the people in the stability pool. Stability pool earners earn that Pulse. It just depends on your portion of the pool.
Thank you. And then, we're left over with the loan, right? The loan token. And then we can go to the staking pool for the loan token, and let's dive into this.
So you can just take that token you earn and take that loan token and then just start staking that in the staking pool. So you got the faucet's on the bottom, by the way. If anybody wants to go into the dApp on the bottom, you just click on the faucet. And every 24 hours, you can go in, you connect your wallet, and then you already claimed it for the day, but you can get 10 loan token. And then when you go back, You just click maximum. I would just stake it all. Confirm. And so the loan token earns you revenue from when people take when they borrow. So the borrowing fees, this is what it goes to. Every time somebody takes loans, the stakers of the loan token actually earn a percentage of those fees. That's why there's a minimum fee. So like everything is just beautifully tied together. Like it all supports each other in the protocol. It's like basically a trifecta.
So the 0.5% up to 5%, depending on this the system state, is
system health. Yeah.
System health, thank you, goes into this pool here. But then they also earn a second source, right?
Correct. You'll get some pulse. It's mostly going to be USDL, but you'll get some pulse from like arbitragers that go out. So I know like Dylan from Fiat, he was in the Telegram group the other day, and he's going into the testnet and he's messing around with the pools, moving things in and out. And the arbitragers that are going to take opportunities to like of those spreads, they're going to get you some pulse back when it equals out.
Oh, that was very interesting. Par excellence. That on a complete tangent, we can get into that later. But the other option here, which you're going to earn from two sources, right, is arbitrage. Can you tell people the word arbitrage is like speaking Spanish to most people, right? And they just don't understand what that means. So
it's an action word, guys. It's a verb. Think of it more as a verb. Like it's something that occurs because there's a value. And it's not like a science. It's like there's a value here, and guys like Sam know about it. So arbitrage exists. That's how I feel about it. That's my thing.
That's great. That's a great way of looking at it. Can HEXiCAT or one of you guys, can you tell people in your words how you see what the arbitrage is here, right? How is somebody going to earn that pulse, HEXiCAT?
You don't have to do anything in the protocol. Like arbitragers, people that go in and mess with liquidity pools, they're going to do it. It automatically goes to your wallet. That's the best part about this. You don't have to worry about it. You'll earn pulse just because of people doing things in the back end that you don't need to know how to do.
And so you're correct. You definitely don't need to know how to do it. But yeah, I'm a little bit of a nerd. I enjoy like the details.
We're running a show here, HEXiCAT. Come on, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
So I'm not an arbitrager. I don't mess around with liquidity pools much. But like basically, you're taking advantage of.
You were swapping LTC for ETH back in the day there in the bear market.
But I was just exchanging it. I wasn't setting up pairs or going into the pool. But basically, when the price of one dropped,
arbitrage in this instance, Sam, are you mentioning the liquidity pools in general, or do you mean like is there going to be like between one of these tokens just a USD buy that someone could just, you know what I mean?
If Bullish wants to pull up the chart in the background, it kind of gives us a good idea for, I think it's LUSD. I think that's the one. So LUSD liquidity for
liquidity.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
And guys, everyone who talks crap about liquidity, it works and it's still here and it's amazing and it's on ETH. So,
but not nearly as nicely put together, in my opinion, as liquid loans. And I'm not just saying that because
it's alive. It's alive.
Look at their site.
You can take a loan out from them, and it's still alive in crypto. So they fork something that still works. Ching, 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 ching.
It works perfectly.
What happens is when you take out this loan of USDL, there's price aberrations, right? So this is like the $1 for Pulse, but you get to see here that the price actually fluctuates. So you're like, wait a second, it's not actually at $1 all the time. So what happens when the price goes above or below? That's where you can actually go through and take whatever it is. If it's selling for less, right? So say if it sells for 95 cents and it's supposed to sell for $1, you're part of the staking pool. You don't even have to worry about this. But somebody who's in the market who sees an opportunity to make profit, like GRC was saying, they'll go buy, $10,000 worth at 95 cents because they know they can take that and bring it straight over to the protocol and get that return. They pay a tiny bit of a fee, but as long as the fee is smaller than the amount of profit they make, there's going to be players that do this.
So if the stable coin drops below and you can get it for 95 cents, and it usually doesn't fluctuate that much. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. The protocol actually does a great job of maintaining its peg. But yeah, let's say it goes to 95 cents. You go in, you buy $100,000 worth. You can take that. You got it at a discount, a 5-cent discount. You can go in and you can go redeem it for Pulse, $1 USDL for $1 worth of Pulse. So yeah, basically that's what you can go do. And you're basically getting on the spread. So that's how a lot of arbitragers go and make money. There's also more stress following it, but if you like doing it, yeah, go ahead, man. I like things that just keep working and I don't have to think about it that much.
Yes, and I wouldn't recommend anybody necessarily get into that. It's fascinating, but like HEXiCAT was saying, you can set it up so that you don't have to do anything and just put your money there to work for you. Is there anything
you can use that to go pay off your loan cheaper too. So basically, you got the USDL at a cheaper price, so you can go pay off your loan when you took it out.
So talk about this for a second, right? Because if I got a loan, say I have 100,000 Pulse, right? That's equivalent to 50 grand, and I borrow 5 grand against there. So I borrowed 500 USDL. I took the USDL, I sold it for some other investment, and now I'm like, I would prefer to use my Pulse in a different protocol. So I want to pay off that $5,000. Mm-hmm. A opportunistic way to pay that off for less than $5,000 in the marketplace is paying attention to the price of USDL. When you see USDL below $1, it's 99 cents, it's 98 cents, it's 97, etc. That's the time to buy that $5,000 because you're getting a discount on paying off your loans, what HEXiCAT is saying. Great point there. Thank you for bringing that up. Is there anything else on the testnet that we should be aware of or know about?
Yeah, I mean, just basically like the stability pool, the staking pools. You can look at the liquidations tab there if you want to click on that.
The next one down, if Bush is still there. he might have stepped out for a second.
No, I'm sorry. What was that?
The next one down, liquidations. Please. Thank you, sir.
So this is like the riskiest trove. So right now, the closest trove to being liquidated is at 111.56%. So eventually it's a manual process. When that hits under 110, that button liquidate will activate and you can just liquidate it. Now, if you hit the button, the incentive is you get the $200 reserve fee that person opened that vault with. So you get that, plus you get 0.5% of all that liquidated Pulse in there. Eventually, people are going to code bots for it. There's nothing you can do. It's already on Liquidity. People have bots. I've gone in there. I've tried to follow on Liquidity, like in the different front ends to like liquidate the accounts, but the bots go in there so quick. But right now, you can go in there. If you see that drop below 1 to 10%, you just click the liquidate button. You get 0.5% of that Pulse, and you get the $200 reserve fee. So it's something to keep an eye on.
Could that be set to trigger automatically so that the fees could just go back into the pool? Like, you have access to the team. I'm sure that with enough creativity and resourcefulness, instead of having this set up so that you have whoever can build the bot the fastest to be the person who wins here, helping the ecosystem, helping the players involved, helping the stability pool, helping the staking pool, by having this triggered automatically in some fashion, where once this wire is tripped, the $200 fee gets dispersed to, say, the stability pool, and the 0.5% goes to the staking pool, but it's done in an automatic fashion so that it's not just one. I'm able to just siphon funds off because I can create the fastest bot and I get to steal a little bit from everybody involved instead of it being dispersed more like across everybody involved in the pools.
Yeah, well, the entire point of it is to incentivize people to hit the button. So no, we don't want to take any control over how it gets distributed. It's basically the fastest bot, or there's always people building better bots. It's either the fastest person or the fastest bot. So really, it's just basically there as incentivization to do that. It's not going to, the code won't change. Basically, the code is what it is. It's just going to be basically a fork of Liquidity for that aspect. That's what it is.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, HEXiCAT, this has been awesome. What else we got? We got what is this here? LPB points?
Where am I looking? A longer pays better point schedule. So that's just like when the points are coming out. If you locked up for the sacrifice phase, that's when the points are like coming out. So some people, when the liquid loans had their sacrifice, you could lock up for 1 month all the way up to 24. And you got a 6% bump every month. The last month, if you locked up for the full 24, you got an extra 12%. So this is just like showing when those tokens are going to be released.
I forgot about this. I wanted to do that, and I completely forgot. But that's fascinating. And what about the analytics here?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even looked at this one much, but just basically the number of holders and stuff. I don't even know if this is live or it just says sample on it. But you can just see a little bit of data there. Loan change last 7 days, total USDL supply, mint burn. It's just going to be a page.
Yeah,
with more
this is
data,
dummy
so you
data. Yeah, at the moment, this is dummy data because these are images. But yeah, I'm assuming once it's live, it'll be real time data.
Absolutely.
And then, so we got a couple more to go through. Knowledge base, which we kind of already touched on. If you guys
have any questions about the protocol, you can go to the knowledge base. This will take you to the validator page.
What does it take for validators? So this is a validator specifically for liquid loans?
Yeah, they're running it up on Testnet on PulseChain. It was running perfectly, but they went and made some changes, so it was offline for a little bit. So there was a couple, what do they call them? Errors that happened.
Bugs or something or whatever.
It's like a failure. If you go look on Testnet or implication, I forget what the hell it's called, but like they fixed all the problems. They were making some changes. Yeah, they were making some changes. So they went in, it's fixed. So now you can go in, but you can basically go to the validator and you can stake your pulse, and you can just earn pulse on it by supporting the validator. Misdemeanors and felonies is what it's called.
Oh, interesting. That's the terminology that they use in like that world.
Yeah, well, if you go look at the validator on Testnet, I don't know if you have the link for that. You can go see all the ones because like Feeder has one up there, Hodl Dog has one, a bunch of other people have their validators that are running, and you can see how they're running. And if they have any misdemeanors or felonies, it'll flash on there, and that'll take the validator out of rotation.
Right. So this is part of the consensus network, and what the whole claim to fame about why stake of proof of stake is better than proof of work is because the way these validators are set up is more decentralized, because if they're penalized, they just get pushed out of rotation and the next person in the queue gets pushed up.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so is there any benefit from a financial perspective to be a validator or no?
I mean, better to ask Feeder and stuff.
Cool.
I mean, yeah, I guess you can earn money on it. I don't know.
You can. I mean, there's
it becomes a full-time
something.
job.
Little politics there too, which I'm interested in.
Yeah, at the moment in the beginning, essentially it doesn't pay because the cost of managing the infrastructure is a lot more than what you're earning. But as the price appreciation kicks in, then it starts, becoming, worth, becoming a validator. But that's more of like a long-term play.
And guys, if there's going to be people like this,
thank you,
having them on the show for hours on end and them being very transparent people, better. I
think even Richard has said, like, if you want to be a validator, you're basically taking a full-time job.
Some guys are nerds, man. Some guys like me like full-time jobs for no reason.
Yeah, if you're someone like Feeder or like OG HEX, who's another one who like is behind the scenes doing a lot of stuff. Like if you know DevOps and automation and stuff like that, you'll have a much easier time managing a validator than someone just spinning it up and having to constantly manage it. When you're doing DevOps, you're basically using code to automate. So if there's a certain amount of load, spin up more servers. If the load falls below this point, spilling down on servers. So it basically becomes like off hands. If you know what you're doing, and I would say there's probably a handful of guys in this community who actually know how to do it and do it as a full-time job.
Thank you, Bullish. And that's something that to them, more than likely, they would probably be doing this nerdy shit anyway. Like I go to the gym, right? To other people, that's job, that's work, that's a pain in the butt. But to the guys who are being validators, it's probably like nerdy shit they would do anywhere. Similar to how I'm going to go to the gym.
My neighbors like mowing their lawn, Sam.
It's just something they're going to do, right?
Personally, like I think it's a pain in the ass. And I think I wish it's something that I did, but the ROI in the bear market, me, I'll go mowing.
So I'm more of like to Sam's point, like it's more of like a labor of love. Like right now, I've had a PulseChain node running since V2B launch. You know what I mean? Just like it's just there. Like it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't it's off hands. You know what I mean? Like I don't really have to do anything with it. So like a lot of
you do that because you're a fucking nerd.
Yeah, I would do it anyway. I would do it anyway. Yeah, like I would do it anyway, even if I wasn't making money off of it. Like now, I'm not making a dime off of it. You know what I mean? So it's just like I'm doing it anyway, more for the experience. But like for the people like Feeder, How to Pulse, and everyone else who's like running validators, Liquid Loans, I believe Power City as well, and a few other people. Like it's more of a long-term play. Like if you believe in the chain and what PulseChain is going to do, then you want to be one of the first ones to have a foothold and have majority of the people staking on your validators versus someone else coming in once it pumps.
Yes, so that's interesting. There's one more thing that I saw on the testnet. Thank you, Bush. There's one more thing on the testnet. In crypto, because it's decentralized, there's no customer service. But in the testnet, there's a tab that says support. What's going on with that? What is the support tab here?
I'm gonna use the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Cool.
Yeah, so I don't know if you did the sacrifice for liquid loans. You did do it, all right? So like I don't know if you noticed that they created a completely anonymous ticketing system.
Oh, Jesse mentioned something about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing what like Dave did, because you don't have to give your email address, your name, anything. You basically create an account. It's anonymous. You get the same 6 words. You just write them down. And every time you go in, it's just like a seed word. You can go in and put a question in. And then the ticketing system on the back end, we can go in and we can actually look in there and respond and check your inquiry. So that's basically what the system is. If you have a question or a problem that you think is a problem, just open up an anonymous ticket. You'll show your wallet address, which still keeps it anonymous. And that's keeping security. So that was the main reason to do this. And it took a lot of extra work to add that feature instead of just having someone put in an email. So I just want to give another, tip of the hat to Scottish Dave for really implementing this, because it was beautiful.
It says wallet address there, but it's supposed to be anonymous, right? So is that they can't see that wallet address?
We'll see the wallet address, but we don't know whose name is tied to it or an email address or anything. Like you can see all wallet addresses on chain. So I mean, that stuff's all on chain. But if you have a question or a problem, like, during the liquid loan sacrifice, we thought there were going to be hundreds and hundreds of inquiries or tickets. There was less than 100, I believe. But, sometimes people sacrifice on the wrong chain. Like they sacrifice coins that were not stable coins. So all kinds of things that were going in there. We went in and we pretty much honored almost every single one.
That's awesome. That feels like that is innovation in the sense that they could take this, anonymous way of providing customer support and spin that off into something else, right? Because like other protocols should be utilizing something along those lines.
Yeah, it's awesome. And we're just going to they'll keep using this for other things in the future too. And you can go in and you can check your ticket at any time. Oh,
fascinating. Bush, can you show, I was talking and I wasn't paying attention where you went. How did you get back in to check your ticket? So this is after somebody.
So yeah, so if you're going into to create a ticket, you would have to create your identifier, which I already copied, and then you would enter your identifier, which I copied real quick. So again, this is all, I don't care if the address is docs or whatever, this is all a burner address. You would enter in your identifier, click login with identifier, and then you would have access to your previous tickets.
And that's where you would pull it up. It just taking a second to load at this point, but that's where.
Yep, there we go. So then, and then you can click into it. Yeah, you can click into it. You'll see any updates, your wallet address, the ticket title.
It's still pending. So when somebody addresses it, they'll change the status and then they'll give you a response.
Okay, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, so it's just like any standard ticketing system. So pretty actually straightforward and simple to use.
Cool, awesome. HEXiCAT, this has been fascinating. I love the detail that they put into this. I think this is pretty thorough in how they've actually set up their testnet. Do you have any closing thoughts here as we wrap things up?
No, man, just we're all excited. I hope everybody thinks it was worth the wait. We wanted to deliver it for months and months, but we wanted to make things as perfect as possible. So everybody should go out, and if you sacrifice for liquid loans, or if you didn't, just go out and play with the system. Let us know if there's any questions or any problems. Come to the Telegram group. We'll try to open up the chats more, so if people want to talk, come in there. Check out the YouTube videos. Matt does an awesome job on the YouTube channel. And I just launched a podcast for them, so I don't know if you guys want to go out and even listen to podcasts, but we already had 3 episodes go out, recorded another one already, and we're working on other guests.
What the heck? You got some links going on or what?
Yeah, it's HEXiCAT chats. It's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. I can get the links.
Hexicans are catching on.
Sure, that's awesome. And
if you drop it in the private chat, I can blast it out to everyone. And a good thing you mentioned Spotify, Apple, Amazon, all that stuff. By the way, if no one is not aware, We are also on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and all those major podcast network. Go to citmcast.com for all the updated links, and you can find them there.
CITM cast. If anybody wasn't paying attention, CITMcast.com.
And we're getting everyone to go to our channel for Crypto in the Morning. Crypto in the Morning, guys. That's on the CITM channel now. Bullish will drop that at the bottom. We need 1,000 subscribers. We're going to start pushing hard on that here shortly so we can transition everything and get to moving and get on with all the fun stuff like the fitness challenges and all the things. And be more organized, you know. It's hard to do it from a bunch of separate entities.
Yeah, I just want to thank you guys for doing the fitness challenge, man. Like, gave me a little more motivation this summer. So I dropped like 30 pounds for that and I'm still going. So,
hey, congratulations! That's amazing. I'm very happy.
Fun to meet up with Sam. We did a little 2-mile loop around his park.
Yes, dope. It was a good time. Get some sun. It was pretty warm out that day. Hopefully, if other people are in the area, they will hit me up. And
I'm doing a market update, 45 minutes, guys.
Okay, you want to wrap things up?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it, guys. I think we got everything across. I think we've chilled our stuff, and I think we'll move on to the next one, boys. Crypto in the Morning.
And real quick, we have a update on Crypto Fitness Challenge coming up tomorrow, and we'll do the whole shebang next week. So stay tuned for that.
What?
And then from there, we're going to transition to the CITM cast channel and double down and start punching harder. So. Thank you for tuning in.
And if anybody,
crazy boy,
if anybody goes through and listens to the podcast on whether it's Spotify or Apple or any of those, and then they go through and they leave a review and they screenshot that and tag me on Instagram, I will get on a call if I can help in any way, answer questions related to fitness stuff or related to LP or other stuff for free, just to help out.
I'll do that.
Appreciate the support. You can
tag that too.
Tag
me if you watch me and like me, and if you're watching on those platforms, tag me. Leave
a review because that's how we're going to be.
And we'll follow you forever, like because if that's nice, we like because it's new. So just know, like I would like to follow you, know who you are, and talk to you if you have a question.
Cool. Let's take us out of here with some DeFi proof.
Official rapper of the channel, DeFi proof, guys. Everyone has.
You already know what time it is. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. 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 Waiting on phone. Crypto in the morning. Crypto in the morning. Smoking a blunt on my way to the gym. 11 a.m. and I'm already tuned in. Got me some hex and I'm making a state. Got me some hedge on, I'm making it rain. Pay me some maxi and that's just in case. GymRatCrypto sent me to show you the way.